And then once COVID hit, I didn't really love doing it over Zoom. It just wasn't the format for me. So I said, you know what, that's fine. And my YouTube journey has been crazy. I've tried so many different things to see what would work, what wouldn't work. Just teaching people, creating content, and I made headway in the SEO space, which is arguably the most competitive space on the internet. Because we, as SEO experts, all know how important it is and how much it could help your business. So it took a lot of trial and error, and all of a sudden, I just made this video because I just wanted to help more people and see who I could possibly assist, or if I helped one person create one more deal and got them one step closer to growing the business that they dreamt of, that was a win in my eyes. And that was really the goal. I was just like, I actually feel like a bad person because I'm keeping in this information. I said, you know what, this could probably help somebody out. So I just happened to make the YouTube video, and then all of a sudden the YouTube video kind of became something, and it wasn't like that. And the only reason why I knew that is because the algorithm told me. The algorithm, you could look at it, you can all of a sudden see like it just going, and then all of a sudden it kind of takes off on this one video, and you're like, oh, I'm getting a lot of views. And it's kind of the machine learning telling you, hey, we want to see more of this, and then all you have to do is go make more of that, and it'll show you. Mr. Beast kind of talks about this a lot too. He's like, you can see how people engage and when people engage and what's engaging and what's not engaging just by looking at the numbers. And anybody could do that, but I would say start creating based on what you like to do and enjoy, and then everything else kind of falls into place.
Great advice. Top 3% is wild. Congratulations to you.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And secondly, another thing that you said that stood out, you said a lot that stood out, but secondly, the fact that you were like opposite of everyone else during COVID, and you said you much rather prefer in person, is also kind of jarring to me, where most people took the whole digital thing and capitalize on it, or not digital, but virtual world, virtual space, and capitalize on it. I know for me personally, I do it because I can't leave from home. I have 2 kids on the side of me right now currently. But you actually prefer to do in person. And I'm just curious, why? What is it about the in person? Just that kind of social feel that you get, the vibe being in person, or is there some more method to your madness? Is it deeper than that, or?
Yeah, so my show is very like Joe Rogan-esque. Sitting around, having a drink, learning about the person. It was much more than just business. Like, a lot of these people became very good friends of mine. People that you'd never have access to otherwise. Some of the most successful lawyers, accountants that charge hundreds of dollars an hour to get in front of them. And I have these people on, I can make a phone call at any hour of the day and they would pick up and, hey man, how's everything going? How's the house, how's the dogs, how's the fiance? And that's the relationship I have with these people because of the podcast. But my shows were usually about an hour and a half to 3 hours long in many cases. We would have, drinks on the show. It was very laid back. And it wasn't so much like a lot of people thought it didn't feel like a show. It was like, let's just hang out without cell phones. Let's, whatever we talk about as either, us, we'll just talk about it. We'll take the conversation as it comes. And that was probably the coolest part about it. Like, there was no agenda of I have to get through this, or I have to create this, or I have to do this. It was just like, let's just have fun and see what happens. And it never, a lot of times too, even after the podcast, even after being with the person for 3 hours, we would either continue to hang out, we'd go have dinner together after the show, whatever it may be. And it built such a good relationship, and I actually ended up leveraging that for my old business, my old company as well, with these in-person interactions. And my old show was in my old boss's office, so it was pretty cool. And they got to see what it all looked like. It ended up helping me make money, but more importantly, it helped me build a network of people that I now consider dear friends, and they're some of the best business leaders on Long Island.
Really neat. Question 5, embracing the Follow Me Friday vibe. Tell us a quote or mantra you follow in your personal pursuit of success.
Um, I don't know about success, but I do like "Be the Change You Wish to See in Your World" by Gandhi. Because I think if more people just spend time focusing on, instead of complaining, ooh, my light went off. Instead of complaining about things and just actually going to do the work uh, that is required to get the thing done, more productive stuff would happen. And it doesn't have to be necessarily productive, but like it's pretty common for me to get out of a car sometimes and I see trash on the ground and I just walk over and pick it up. Like I don't need recognition for it, but I would hope, it makes me sad that not enough people would just do that and leave it on the ground, because it's not somebody else's job to pick it up. It's all of our jobs to pick up the trash and make the world a better place. So that's kind of why I come on these podcasts. I don't expect anything out of podcasting at this point. I just come on podcasts because I just want to help people. I want to empower people, and if I can have one person take the leap of faith of either starting their own business and chasing after their dreams, that's a win in my book. And go out there, create something you're proud of, and things will just kind of fall in line for you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Harrison. As we're coming to a close, tell us lastly for our audience who wants to stay connected and follow your journey, where they can find you and follow you on social media and or your website.
Yeah, so I probably have like 4 or 5 businesses, I guess technically online, because I do SEO for a living and help people find good information on Google. I smile because that's what Jamila's mentioned of finding things on Google. But if you want to find me, growth-generators.com or harrisonbarron.com. You can just Google my name. I promise you I will come up. And, if you want to reach out, hbarron at growth-generators.com. I've sat down with a couple people that have heard me on a podcast before, and I've given them some pretty good advice and helped them start businesses. So it's fun to do, and it's cool to help people.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, Hope. Hope, please tell us your full name, where you're from, and what you do.
My name is Hope Hunt. I live in the base of the Appalachian Mountains in Northeast Georgia, and I am currently pivoting my business from a high-tech virtual assistant that I've been in business for 17 years to more of a strategic small business growth coach. Um, I have I have had the privilege. I was forced into my business, and now it's time to pivot. Now that I've become an empty nester, and it's time for change.
You were forced into the business 17 years ago, or
17 years ago. Yes. I had, at the time, I had 2 children and I was traveling all over. Like Harrison earlier, my background is in development. I was heads down writing code for big tech companies, the biggest of the big, and traveling all the time. Baby number 1 came along, great, take her with me. Lots of the places I worked had on site daycare, it worked out. Baby number 2 came along a year later, unexpectedly. Traveling with 2 under 2, not a pleasant experience. And with my inability to travel, virtual working wasn't a thing quite yet. And I had to leave the corporate world. So I spent many a late night looking for something, and I came across the term virtual assistant, and I went, oh, I could do that from home. And that's how I started. And it has been a wild ride of growth and change, because I have been working from home for 20 years, and then COVID hit a few years back, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Been doing it for quite a while. I've taken a couple of excursions back into the corporate world with some big names, but nothing beats being virtual. And so the last year, I decided I'm ready to pivot, change my business model, and start over again. 17 years in now. And that's where I'm at.
Tell me a little bit more about what is it like to constantly reinvent yourself, evolve in your work, and pivot.
It's something I've had to do a lot because I've probably worked with 250 to 300 small businesses over the last 17 years, and every business model was different. And everybody's tech stack was different. And although I always say technology is my love language, I speak it very fluently. It changes rapidly, and every business owner has their own idea of what they want their business to do for them and what they want technology to do for them. And so every summer, I dedicated the summer to learning a new skill or a new technology, and I would dive in headfirst in the deep end to master new technology every year or new skills every year because it was needed in my business. So it's fun.
I love it. When you talk about, or when you mention you have 200 plus clients that you worked with, I'm curious, do you have any advice or what is your experience for retaining those clients? I know in some cases they tell you for, a duration of time, but is there an instance where you actually retain clients for years plus? And what are your advice for retaining such clients?
Absolutely. I have had clients that have been with me for almost all of the 17 years, and then some that were with me for decades. And then some that have come and gone through the years. Their business model, I did a lot of website design. I did a lot of tech stacks that they evolved, and they needed help implementing something new. So my best advice for keeping clients is always go above and beyond. Give away the knowledge. There's no secrets, especially with Google. As both Jamila and Harrison have mentioned, the power of Google. There's no secrets. So I don't need to gatekeep any of my knowledge. So give it away, always go above and beyond, and tell them when they're wrong. Tell them when they're wrong. Because while they may be experts in their business, I am an expert in mine. And so when you say, I need this, that, the other, or the next gold shiny thing, I'm like, you don't need that $2,000 a month CRM. You can go with this $35 a month one. It will do the same thing, and you're keeping a lot more money in your pocket. So I always say, be honest, be upfront, and always go above and beyond, and over communicate every time.
What are some key features of your service that customers find most valuable, and how does it solve a problem or meet a need in your market?
Well, I have found that most of my market are women, and most of them moms, because I was a mom and I wanted to be home with my kids. And I know you're going to ask this at the end, but one of my favorite quotes that I talk about with my clients is, a mother is she who can take the place of all others, but whose place no one else can take. And that is Cardinal Maymelade. And so women, no shame to women who have to go out and work and kids who have to go to daycare and so forth and so on. Absolutely do that if that's what is needed. I couldn't do that. I couldn't leave my kids and travel for weeks at a time and come back. I was like, why am I working to pay someone else to raise my kids? This does not sound right to me. So one of the things I do best is helping my clients build a business that supports a solid work-life balance, that allows their, as I called my kids when they were all still home, my board of directors to be sitting beside me when I'm on a podcast. They would hear my kids, because I now have 5. I went from 2 to 5 in all these years. I was like, that's the board of directors. They're calling me. I've got to answer them. And so I helped and empowered the clients I worked with to know that they could say, not right now, later, this doesn't work for me. What else can we do? And that has been, I think, what my clients have appreciated the most is hearing it from someone who's been there before and who was able to successfully, as a single mother of 5, support my kids, the competitive gymnastics, the robotics competitive team, etc., and run a very successful business. I am a foster adoptive parent, before anybody comes for me in the comments, because I'm streaming this live on Facebook, and most of them know this, but my kids I adopted from the U.S. foster care system. So I have a rainbow colored family, all ages and sizes and strengths. But I modeled what I taught and what I helped other women do. And I plan to continue doing that.
Blessings to you. We know that the foster care system is a journey in and of itself. Blessings to you for, helping to support that way. What advice would you give to others who may be interested in starting their own virtual business, and what lessons have you learned along the way that you believe have been crucial for your success?
All right, I'm going to start with the second one. Lessons I've learned along the way that are crucial for your success. Jamila was spot on. There are contracts in your contacts. Start with your friend. Bounce your ideas off them. Even if they're not a client, their family maybe, their friends maybe, someone they know maybe. So definitely start with your inner circle. Find someone that you can, and it doesn't have to be a coach. I was bootstrapping my business. I had no money to start a business. There were no thousands of dollars laying around. I had to get as much as I could done for free. And this was 17 years ago. We didn't have all the cool tools you have now. So you can absolutely start a business for nothing. You can absolutely do it. It will be a lot of sweat equity and a lot of late nights and a lot of early mornings if you're a mom. But you can absolutely do it for nothing. Coaches are a fantastic resource. If you can go that route, great, do that. But you can absolutely reach out to people in your own network and say, what do you think? How can I do this? And just go for it. I know I heard Harrison say, just keep creating, keep going, keep doing. And you can absolutely do that until you find your niche and your squad, and then you go. Those who are interested in starting their own, just do it. Like Nike would say, I'm just doing a lot of R&D, rip off and duplicate here. I know R&D is research and development, and there's lots of great tax credits for that. But the other use of R&D is rip off and duplicate. Best way to design your website, go look at Amazon. They're killing it. What can you take from Amazon's model if you're selling something online and make it your own and make it happen? There are lots of us out here who are willing to reach a hand back to help the women behind us or men. I don't discriminate. I just find mostly women resonate with my message to help you come up. So find them.
I'm curious, when you first got started, you said that it didn't require a lot of money. What exactly, name the first 3 things that you had to put in place to start your business?
All right. You got to have a digital presence. If you can't afford a website or don't know how to build a website, start a Facebook page. You can have your own link there. You can put all your content there. Absolutely free. Absolutely free. And you can link it anywhere and everywhere, because if people don't have a Facebook page, they can still access it without logging on. 9 times out of 10, if you set up the settings right. So digital presence. Know your message. What are you selling? Don't talk about who I am. Talk about your customers' pain points. Don't talk about what you did today. Talk about what your client, how you can help your client solve a problem they're having. show the resolution. So know your messaging. And then 3, take care of yourself, because nobody pours from an empty glass. So if you need to step away, if you need to keep a water bottle, both Harris and I have both had water bottles. I don't know. He may have something else on his. He talked about drinking during his podcast. But Jamila, take care of yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty glass. So, okay, get outside, get in the sun. Don't hide behind your computer. As much as we're all tempted to just push and push and push, you can't pour from empty glass. It works for your family that way, and it works for your business that way. Take a step back, take a breather, take a walk, and call a friend. So those game shows, dial a friend. Take care of yourself. Those are the 3 things I'd start with. I mean, there's lots of other tools, and there's a lot of free tools. I mean, Google Forms you can use for just about anything. Google Drive, you can share anything you need to try. I have clients who started from nothing, and now they're like doing these huge tens of $1,000 masterminds, and I'm like, you go, girl. And I started when you needed a $300 WordPress site just to have something, and now you're like selling it. And not only are they selling it, this is what amazes me the most. I have a client started years ago. She's a health coach. She's got a master's of nutrition. Like, she knows it all. She's older than me. She's in her 60s. So this has no age limit. She started this. I'm gonna coach people on health. I was like, great. She wanted a WordPress site. She wrote a few blogs. I helped her get all that up. I mean, like a $300 investment. This was not big money. And today she's selling out her 2nd year-long mastermind. And not only is she making money, but she looks like her whole face is different. Like, she's confident and she's strong. And when she started, like, she'd stutter when she talked what she was going to talk about. And I'm not a speech host. I'm like, go to Toastmasters. Like, you can join for like $30. They'll teach you how to speak to people and give presentations. Go there. That's not what I do. I'll listen to you, but all I want to say is, hey, slow down, get your messaging right. And now, like, she's confident and bold, and she just glows. And I'm like, holy cow, girl, you are killing it. And I'm so proud to have been there from the beginning. And she's one of those clients that's come and gone as her technology changed. She still uses Google. She switched from WordPress to Squarespace. You know, she switched scheduling applications like half a dozen times. But every time, hey, I want to change because of this. And I'll like, ooh, stupid idea. I don't say it like, yeah, I do. I do say it like, I don't pull any punches. So just do it. But that's what I would start with if you're starting a business.
I'm curious also if you can speak to some people do lack confidence in terms of what they will charge. And so can you kind of give some education around that? Where should someone start to begin to figure that process out? What people start charging us?
Oh, that's where you're supposed to say market research, you know, go get quotes from other people doing what you want to do. And then I say, know your value and add tax. You know, what was it, that baseball movie? They said, build it and they will come. I found that people who are ready to invest in what you offer will pay what you charge. Don't undervalue yourself. Now, there's two schools of thought. Some people give it away for a testimonial when they're getting started. And I support that. I give it away probably once a year, like I'm about to. I'm about to open up free strategy sessions for the next probably month or two, mostly because I want to do some market research, but also because I can add value to these women. So I'm going to give it away and ask them to write a testimonial for me on my new like coaching offering. But you can also do some lower price beta test packages at lower cost. And then at the end, you can send surveys to the people who took and say, hey, price point wise, what would you pay for this service? How valuable was this service to you? And that gives you the market research over what you exactly are offering and what you're bringing to the table. Because when you're a newbie, you probably can't bring the same thing to the table as someone who's been doing it for 17 years. But you may have some kind of hook that nobody else has. And only doing that and offering it out to seeing how people respond will give you that answer. But I also have great resources as far as pricing spreadsheets that can guide you in setting your pricing. And I give those away for free on my website, which is under maintenance right now. But it will be up soon.
The next question is going to be how can people follow you? But before that, I do want to ask you, what are your thoughts about ChatGPT? For some people, that's a taboo word, but also some people are very nervous about it taking over jobs. But I feel like it can help you be more efficient in your work. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm a little worried about AI in our world, mostly because I have 4 college students right now, and they have found how to ask it. In fact, one of them just walked in from her classes, and they have figured out how to ask it, how to write their English papers for them. Not a big fan of that. On the flip side, I've been a paid blogger for a personal finance blog for 7 years now. And I don't worry about my job because I tell personal stories there, and AI doesn't have personal stories because they're not a person. They can fake it pretty well, but it still doesn't ring true. So my thoughts on it are, it is the wave of the future. It is time to learn it, and it is time to learn to work with it. Will it replace? Possibly in some cases, especially when it comes to SEO and writing with SEO in mind, because I can write code. I mean, to write an SEO article for me. AI can do that. Those writers will be replaced very quickly. So embrace it. It's coming. It's going to take over in some areas, but not in all. So you just have to be aware of that balance.
Comment. I guess in terms of setting yourself apart, that's why it's important to know your unique value proposition. So you can set yourself apart from AI and you're not pushed out of the market.
Absolutely.
And finally, tell us how can we stay connected and follow you? I know you said the website is under maintenance, but what other social media handles can we find you on?
I'm mostly on LinkedIn, hope.hunt. You'll see my face. And then my website is EPOH, just Hope backwards. Along with my social media is EPOH LLC. I've been in business for 17 years, and I love to share what I know. So definitely hit me up. And my email address is easy. It's hope@epoh.com, which is Hope backwards for those wondering what EPOH is. It's also my license plate if you ever see me out in public.
Wow, that's cool. Talk about marketing.
It's mostly people ask me, what is EPOH? It's just Hope backwards. Just Hope backwards.
Well, thank you, Hope, and thank you for everyone that has joined us, Harris and Jamila. Thank you so much for the value that you added to the platform today. I like to end with a wave. if you don't mind, just telling everyone to join me. You all have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining, and I'll be in touch with you all soon.